You are the creator of your reality because you are the offerer of vibration. You offer a lot of vibration without words. Do you agree with that? You offer a lot of thought without words. Do you agree to that? You offer a lot of words without thought. Do you agree to that?
Yes.
You offer a lot of thought and words and behavior without consideration of what they are doing to your point of attraction, because you often do not make the association between what you're thinking and how you're feeling. It isn't until you allow quite a bit of momentum to get going that your vibration of resistance gets strong enough that you have a really strong emotional response to it. We're talking about most people most of the time. So when something happens to your physical body and you feel a tension somewhere, don't you usually try to identify what you've been doing? Esther will say, well, I was hanging clothes on a very high rack and I held myself in a very odd position for a very long time. And we said, and how were you feeling when you did it? Because Esther wants to talk about the very small ladder she was on and the very high thing she was reaching for. She doesn't want to talk about the time shortage consciousness that she had going on when she was doing it. What's the vibration behind it? In other words, because the action, whatever vibration you've got going on, if you've got a vibration going on that is not in sync with your inner being, you'll make all the wrong decisions. Just like changing lanes badly and running right into someone. So if you make it about vibration rather than about action, or you make it about vibration rather than words, or you make it about vibration rather than thought, if you make it about vibration, then you're able to catch it at the earlier, more subtle stages. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
In other words, if we said to you, we want you to feel good. We want you to feel good. So focus on your body just for a moment and focus on the fact that you just feel good. Here you are in your body. You've adjusted to the atmospheric pressure of your planet. You've adjusted to the oxygen content of the air. Your body knows what to do with the air you're breathing. Your body knows what to do in the metabolizing of the food that you're ingesting. Your body is adjusted even to the odd gravity on this ship. Just focus upon how you feel. Just focus upon how you feel just for a little bit. Focus upon the motion of the ship and go with it. Let it move you. Don't stand in resistance to it. I'm not going to move. The ship is going to move, but I'm not going to move. I'm not going to move with it. I'm not moving with this ship. It wants me to go that way. I'm going this way. Now it wants me to go that way, but I'm going this way. You feel the tension? Can you feel the tension? Or you could just relax and just let the ship move you. Just let yourself move in the direction that the ship wants to take you. It's not going to turn over today. So if you could just relax into the feeling of the moment rather than trying so hard to think it into the perfect place, just accept the rightness of your beingness, the rightness of where you are, trusting that what you put into the vortex is calling you. And that as sure as this ship is causing you to move this way and then this way and then this way and then this way, this calling of this vortex is going to call you in the direction of all that you want to. And if you're relaxed and ready to go, so to speak, rather than tensed and overthinking it all the time, everything just works out better for you. Yes?
Yes, indeed.
We'll talk more about that. We're just sort of stepping into this new thought. But we think that it's a good thing for you to feel the importance of unspoken vibration, because there is emotional response to unspoken vibration. And if you can enjoy the unspoken vibration and not try to make it something different than it is, then all the way out it will go easier for you. For example, do you ever watch anything political?
Not usually.
Ever. And if you do, even though you don't want to admit that you do, if you do you ever find yourself wanting to go screaming into the woods because of the polar opposites of perspectives about same things? Two or three, usually two, different perspectives about the same thing, speaking two entirely different messages. And if it was your job to bring that into alignment, you would lose your mind. The only reason that it works for any of them is that they don't try to find harmony. They're not looking for any harmony. They're just speaking what they're speaking, speaking what they're speaking, and never coming together. And that's just fine. But you can't be like that relative to your own being. You have an inner being that has a very strong momentum, and when you go opposite of your own inner being, the tension within you is very unsettling. Not only do you not feel clarity, not only do you not feel joyful, not only do you not feel love, but you don't feel confidence and you don't feel timing. Nothing goes well when you get crossways of who you are. So you cannot afford what you might consider the luxury of getting counter to the powerful knowledge within yourself. And that is a vibrational thing that you can catch at earlier subtle stages. So take these two polar opposites in politics, just for an example, and rather than listening, watching the behavior, which could drive you crazy, or listening to the words that could cause you to want to go screaming into the woods, instead just step back from the specifics of all of that and try to get a feeling about it. Let's say it's two people speaking entirely different things, but now they're not speaking, you cannot hear them. Now they're not behaving, you're not watching their action. Now you are just sensing that they are two different people. You're taking it back to a more general place, and you're acknowledging that they each are extensions of source energy, and they each have come into this environment in order to decide what they want, and they each have been sifting through the data, and they are certainly reacting to the data. In most cases, they are not in alignment. That's why they make you want to go screaming into the woods, because there's no harmony between them and their own inner being, and so there's no harmony between them and their inner being, or you and your inner being. But as you step back from the action or from the words, and you just focus upon the vibration, and you acknowledge that they're individuals who have come from source energy, don't you begin to feel your tension release just a little bit in your generality? As you acknowledge that they too have the right to sift through the data, don't you find your tension releasing just a little bit? As you acknowledge that they create their reality, not yours, that they create their reality, don't you feel your tension releasing just a little bit? As you acknowledge that the law of attraction is responding to them just like the law of attraction is responding to you, don't you feel the tension releasing just a little bit? As you step away from the specifics of what they might be saying or the behavior that they might be offering, and you acknowledge the vibrational basis of them, which is the same vibrational basis of you, doesn't it give you a sense of letting go? Doesn't it give you more of a sense of letting them be whatever they be? And doesn't it free you then to move forward in the thoughts that feel best to you? In other words, as long as you are railing against anything that's going on, you are not in concert with your own inner being. You cannot find the release of your own attunement with who you are as long as you are pushing against the opinion of any other.
I don't get how tuning into their vibration when they're out of alignment soothes me, though. I'm not.
Because you're not tuning into their vibration. You're tuning in their right to have a vibration. You're tuning into their right to exist. You're tuning into the diversity that they've come for. You're tuning into the balance of your planet. You're tuning into the you couldn't know what you want if they weren't there offering to you what you know you don't want. You couldn't get clear about who you are. You couldn't find your alignment. In other words, what we're leading up to, and you're not ready to hear it yet, and you may be once you croak, but until then maybe not. But what we're leading up to is that at the core of all of you is alignment with your inner being. And once you find alignment with your inner being, you have found alignment with all of their inner beings. And once you find alignment with their inner beings, as long as you're not out of alignment with your inner being, then you have power of influence. But your influence will never be to get them to behave in a way that you think that you need them to behave, because you've all come forth to live the diversity. The diversity is your greatest strength. Without variance, without difference, you could not define what you want. And defining what you want doesn't make it right for everyone else. You see what we're getting at? We're going a little deeper into the questions that we can feel coming from you, even than the ones that are offered out here in the atmosphere of this room. But we think this conversation has been beneficial to everyone.